So my webcam slash recorder thing in the garage ate the section of me putting all the lathe tools into the evaporust, but it luckily didn't eat the part where I took it all out and rinsed it and cleaned it off. And here we're getting it all out of the evaporust and into the water to rinse and then cleaned off with a toothbrush. And it all came out pretty good. It was in there for a couple hours. And then that was me using a magnet in a glove to pull out the rest of the tiny bits, which luckily I didn't miss too much because there were some really small pieces in there. And then I'm just going through the air and blowing them all off to get them to dry quicker. And then at the end I put a fan on it after this, and it dried all nice. Well, there we go. A lot of the lathe accessories have now been run through evaporust. Of all of them, this one's sort of flash rust, but I wiped it and I think it's better. They all cleaned up some. Some of them have still little bits here and there, but like this was all rusted, and now it's mostly metal colored or steel colored. It's not perfect, but then again, some of the stuff's old. So it's better than it was. So now the plan is to let it run overnight with the fan blowing over it to make sure it's all nice and evaporated, and then in the morning we should be good. So I think. Yeah, it's better than it was. Like I didn't run things like the live center in. You can see how that one's rusted. You can compare the two. This one was the color of that before I started, so the evaporust definitely helps. I have to figure out how I want to clean the live centers. They still spin nice, so maybe I'll just, I don't know, clean them up with light sandpaper or something. And I also probably, for some of these, want to clean the rust off for the chucks. Let's see. Yeah. Like the 4-jaw chuck is somewhat rusted. But that I'll definitely want to take. If I'm going to clean that, well, first I'm going to test to make sure it works nice. If it works nice, I might just do a surface prep versus a completely take apart. But it looks like there's grit down in the gears and things, so I probably should take it apart and clean it just so I know what's going on in there. And I know that the one on the lathe, I didn't touch anything that's on the lathe. But I did go through the whole box and took the majority of the things out that were a single piece and needing cleaned. So for all the tools and drill bits and everything, and like I said, they cleaned up pretty good. It's definitely better than it was. They'll probably need a little bit more. One of the problems was, after the evaporust, as you saw, I was using the air compressor. Well, the problem is it's a cold day and water started coming out. So, yeah, that's annoying. It's very hard to use air compressor to blow the water off when it starts spraying mist of water back on the parts. But one step down.